Hello everybody, welcome to Grateful Harmony on the spring equinox.
And a full moon.
And a full moon.
Woo!
It's a very special moment in time, and we're going to celebrate it in both song and prayer. One of the things I love about my friend here, Aimée Kelley, when she sings, is that you guys immediately start praying. We get to see your faces, and what happens when you sing is everybody closes their eyes.
Well, hopefully that's why we make a good pair. I guess the people are already used to doing it with you.
Oh, I think they do it with you a bit more. Oh. But anyway, so we're in for a musical, prayerful treat. Hello, people online as well. So it's the spring equinox, a time of holding the paradox, of holding the between and betwixt and stretching wide the heart. So for me, it's a perfect time for prayer. And within our community here at Unity, we have a lot of our members who are having medical situations right now. So the best thing that we could do today is come and sing and pray. All the sound is up front. So Pam, if you want to hear louder, you'll have to sit in the front row.
We could bring another chair.
All the sound is up front today. But yes, please relax and enjoy yourself.
So we're going to begin together and use a practice that I've been working with over the last month or so. It's fairly new to me. It comes from northern India, and it's the very first part of a vocal cultivation called courage. Of course, you can imagine in India it's not spelled the way we spell courage, but it's a nice overlap in terms of the strengthening of the heart and the strengthening of the voice in the heart. So we're singing from our hearts, we're expressing from our hearts. So we're going to go into a little meditation with the seed sound, hum, something you've probably done many times before, but one of the magical qualities of this phoneme is that it starts us at the solar plexus, ha, 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 like when we laugh or we cry, ha, 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 connects us. And then it comes into the ah at the heart, opens wide, ha, and then it ends on the M, which brings us right into the third eye. So it's actually of course the yogis were incredible sound scientists, and we gain a lot by just adopting a few of their practices. So join as you are ready. In fact, even putting a hand on your heart is a great way to feel the vibration deepening. So we're not thinking of the voice kind of squeezing sound out, but we're just opening. For how it feels on the inside more than how it sounds on the outside. To this, deepen into it even more. Feel your body melting into your chair, and the vibration of the sound soothing your bones. Attuning doesn't just happen, it takes time. And the hum goes on. I'm saying that, of course, earnestly, but also the hum in the room. You might have noticed as we go quiet.
This building, this community is very special. So it used to be a roller rink, and then it was converted into a church a while back, and we're the second spiritual community to live in this roller rink. And it has very noisy electrics that are also a bit phantom-like. And we had it perfectly quiet, and then I went in the back room and switched on a light. And like a baby, it woke up and started humming.
Babies, when they wake up, don't always start humming exactly. So I guess we're lucky.
Yes. Well, humming is maybe good. Saturday was St. Patrick's Day. And I learned a new song, and I very much want to sing it on the Equinox, because as you can imagine, an equinox is a very high holy day in the pagan year. I was in the forest today where I live, and there was many deer that crossed my path. And geese as well. We're going to sing about the geese later. It was a bit of a nature show. But also, my dog was more frightened than normal. It was like the trees were more alive. And this song is called The Deer Cry, and it's the words of St. Patrick. So it's about 1,600 years old, and then it was set to music more recently.
Will you say the word of what this actually, what this practice is called?
So it's called a lorica. In the Celtic Christian tradition, it's called a lorica. And in many pagan cultures, there's a prayer practice of placing the sacred around you, or invoking the directions. But in this, what happened was that St. Patrick saw an army coming to try and kill him, and he started praying like crazy, invoking the Christ energy all around him.
And then the deer. Sorry,
yeah,
I just love the story.
yeah. So what happened was, because St. Patrick was a small person on his own, and this chariots were coming, and as he started saying the circling prayer, a herd of deer came in between and kept him safe.
So that's why this is the deer's cry.
That's why this is the deer's cry, or St. Patrick's lorica, or St. Patrick's breastplate. I think the more important is the more names. I rise today through the strength of heaven, light of sun, radiance of the moon, splendor of fire, speed of lightning, swiftness of wind, depth of the sea, stability of earth, firmness of rock. I rise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's eye to look before me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's way to lie before me, God's shield to protect me from all who should wish me ill, afar and near, alone and in a multitude, against every cruel, merciless power that may oppose my body and soul. Love with me, love before me, love behind me, love in me, love beneath me, love above me, love on my right, love on my left, love when I lie down, love when I sit down, love when I arise, love to shield me. So I invite you, if you'd like to embody this song with by standing, finding a little bit of space and turning it into a body prayer, you're welcome to get up. We're going to sing through it twice more. Love with me, love before me, love behind me, love in me, love beneath me, love above me, love on my right, love on my left, love when I lie down, love when I sit down, love when I arise, love to shield me. This time we're going to sing it with light. Light with me, light before me, light behind me, light in me, light beneath me, light above me, light on my right, light on my left, light when I lie down, light when I sit down, light when I arise, light to shield me. I arise today, I arise this day. Welcome to join in. I arise today, I arise this day, I arise today, I arise this day, I arise today, I arise today. Love with me, love before me, love behind me, love in me, love beneath me, love above me, love on my right, love on my left, love when I lie down, love when I sit down, love when I arise, love to shield me. Love in the heart of everyone who thinks of me, love in the mouth of everyone who speaks of me. Amen.
Well, it's really an honor to have another chance to be with Simon in sacred song and prayer, and I always look forward to it. It's actually one of the ways I'm continuing to cultivate a new era in my own life of music. And but this is coming from an album that I recorded with Amy Ringel in 2016, and this is a song I wanted to sing again with the theme that we are cultivating tonight of rising.
Can I move the mics? You going to stand?
I don't know. Yeah, I do want to stand. Yeah. Feels like a standing kind of song. Yeah. So this is Carol McDade from Unitarian Church. My soul rises deep in the roots of yon oak. The sap doth run in my veins, Endless my soul rides the ocean sky, where the stars forever have lain, where the stars, where the stars, where the stars forever have lain. My hands hold the weavings of time without end, my side as deep as the sea. Great is the sound, echoes deep in my heart, that of love's eternity. That of love, that of love, that of love's eternity. I feel the tides as they answer the moon, rushing on far distant sands. Wondrous my feet settle deep in the earth, rising green to greet a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to greet a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to greet a new day.
I've always wanted to hear that song with just one voice. I love your recorded version, but my soul wanted that, and it makes sense. Occasionally people email me and they ask me to re-record my songs without the other people, and I'm like, but that's all the pretty stuff. Why do you want me to re-record it without the harmonies? And they say because they can pray better. And now I understand.
Mm-hmm. Simplicity. You know, it's when I woke up this morning and into the energy of the equinox, the word simplicity and the word stillness were the biggest things I could presence in the air. And I find it interesting, you know, that notion of balance and what it takes to come into balance and how fleeting it is. But it seems like it's this precious moment, the still point in the midst of all the flux of what winter was and what summer will be, and you know what the growing season will be, and yeah, I appreciate simplicity right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've been out a lot in this glorious weather, and last night Linda and I were walking in the full moon. I think this is when it was, when I realized this really is the equinox. I remember the winter, you know, this winter that went on forever. And while we were in winter, I couldn't believe that summer would, I knew it, but I couldn't actually perceive it or imagine that summer would ever be there, not in my body. And then yesterday and today, when it was so sunny and the days are lengthening, I'm like, oh yes, this is what summer feels like. It's emerging. But winter's right there. There was snow just the other day. And it's that fleeting moment of time when what has gone before is real and what is becoming is real. And that's really rare in the natural world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I haven't worked out how to really explain this song without making you stay here till midnight. Yeah, did you bring your pajamas and your sleeping bags? People at home are fine.
Yeah, they're In their pajamas.
So, one of the hardest things as a minister is trying to translate mystical experience into a way that makes even the remotest piece of sense to anybody, even the kids. And then back in December, I did a Native American dance that was honoring the sacred feminine. I was really pretty worried about this as a transgender person that stopped being Ruth a long time ago because it was so difficult for me. I needed to go and honor that part of myself, because when you do a prayer and a prayer dance, you don't just pray for other people, you use your whole body as the gateway into the prayers for everybody. And I was like, oh no, this is like therapy in my dance. I was not happy about it at all. I did lots of preparation. And not surprisingly, it was a really amazing, beautiful experience for me. And a few of you were here when I talked about it in a workshop. But one of the things that happened in that dance was that the grandmothers were honored in a way that they had not been honored in that tradition before. Space was made for them, and their bundle that had been kept outside, their sacred altar, was welcomed in. And they talked and they shared and they took up like 3 hours. It was fabulous. And they were mad. They were angry. They were crying. We were crying with them. And as they came into voice and power and being seen, I felt something in myself shift. So when I came back, it was Imbolc, which is the last pagan day that's just passed. It's called Groundhog's Day here. How to make a really important sacred day sound like a cartoon. You Americans are funny people. So I wrote this song for Groundhog Day. It's about Brigid. Is my guitar coming through? So Brigid, St. Brigid, she's really important to me. She's on the front of one of my CDs. She is the Mary of the Gaels. She is a representation of the sacred feminine in the Christian tradition, and before that she was a goddess before she ever became a saint. So I love her even more. Beloved. No, I'm in the wrong place. It's new, I'm just learning it still. Normally I play it on the piano, but I didn't want to leave Amy's side.
Now I might have to try and sing.
Beloved maiden, sweet Brigid, you are the spring and new life for this world. Men may defile you, woman may banish you, but you cannot be removed from the soil. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la. There was a moment you could not bear it all, and your tears fell to earth for all you saw. And on that hallowed ground there grew a fruit tree, with Eden's fruit brought to light through your tears. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Oh, wise midwife, threshold keeper, there's a harsh, bitter cold in these times, but in your tender heart there lives a beauty. It's the gold that fills the cracks where we divide. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, You are the spring and new life in my veins. Men may defile you, woman may banish you, but you cannot be removed from the soil. One of the special things about that song is the melody. It's an old, well, it's not that old, it's a 1950s or 1960s Irish melody from Northern Ireland. It's a rebel melody, and it was used as a statement against the English occupation. There was an old poem, like a 200-year-old poem, that was talking about Ireland as a maiden, and I love the concept of our connection with the land and our connection with the sacred feminine. It's all just very exciting to me, and right there in the song as well. So I'm going to ask to get permission to use that melody and record it. Thank you. Oh, I'm up again.
Yes, you are.
I've been enjoying the winter. I love winter. I'm Scottish. Fires and whiskies and beers and darkness and time to write songs. And it's just a little bit depressing, which always makes me happy musically. But I've started using this new tuning. Which is a great idea, but then you have to, when you're in a gig, you're like, oh, I have to tune the whole time. Right, I do kind of know the song, but just in case I forget, I only wrote it. Oh, so this is a Canticle of the Creatures, and I was asked to set this prayer that St. Francis wrote to music. And it's in here somewhere. Or maybe I'm going to have to do it from memory. Great. So St. Francis, I'm a big hero. No, he's a big hero of mine. I'm a big hero of St. Francis's because I set his song into it. No, it's the other way around. I think it's the other way around. Maybe he likes me.
Sounds true.
He's on my guitar. This is the second song that I've written about him. And this one is a translation of his really ye olde language, which I needed to change it a lot. If you want to understand my theology, go and look at the original and then hear all the changes that I made, and you'll have a good sense of what I believe as a minister. But I wanted to remain true to him. I wanted to remain true to his original prayer. Most high, all powerful, precious God, no spoken word can hold your name. Praise be to you who births all life with all your creatures. Especially you, sir, brother, son, who is the day and is your light, a beauty so true to you. There you are, there you are. Praise be to you, my Lord, you are Sister Moon and the stars, bright, precious heaven, there you are, there you are. Praise be to you, my Lord, you are brother wind and the air, of spirit, there you are, there you are. Praise be to you, my Lord, you are sister water, gift of life, pure, essential, there you are, there you are. Praise be to you, my Lord, you are brother fire, friend through the night, strong and playful, there you are, there you are. Most high, all powerful, precious God, through Mother Earth we see your face. You who govern all of life, sustain and nurture all that is. With Sister Death, first and last breath, the key unlocking all we are, there we are, there we are, there we are. Such a joy to have worked on it over here with this angelic voice and then share that with you, and to see you soak it up and really get St. Francis. He was a good guy.
And I just want to acknowledge the gift of what you are able to bring forward in time from the truth he was resting within and bringing forward into the world. You've evolved it to the place where we can really absorb it into our hearts in a way that we probably couldn't if we were using just his words. So thank you for keeping him alive.
Mm-hmm. It's a real humbling thing. You know, people have been asking me recently, what would you do if you didn't have to make money? Right? If you didn't have no money, what would you do?
People are asking you.
People have been asking me that. Well, yeah,
do they know you?
That's a good question. I'm going to give up all my jobs, It just feels really beautiful to pray. I mean, I prayed with that original prayer probably. How long was it sitting on the piano? At least 6 months, huh? And then translating it very slowly, getting the song, and then working on the theology. It was a beautiful, beautiful process. So you don't need to thank me because I got a big gift out of doing it.
Khalil?
I didn't print it out. Did you print it out?
I did print it out. No, I didn't print it out. I just sent it to you. Maybe it's not meant to be. You know, we can move right along.
I got a different, we had a Khalil Gibran quote that we were going to do there. But actually there's a different one that I associate with the Equinox, which is about joy and sorrow. So that still point that Aimée was talking about earlier, where I feel pulled in directions, and when I was lucky enough to learn a little bit from a shaman, one of the things that she would talk about doing is expanding your concept of the boundary between yourself and the rest of creation. And we can do that with breath, and we can do that with drumming and calling in the directions. And many of you have been here when we've called in the directions, but she would get me to go out on the direction. And I thought about doing it with you guys, but we're doing breath work. But I really think that the paradox, that uncomfortable place of between and betwixt, of health and illness, of hope and the possibility of death, of healing and letting go, is a very rich, fertile prayer place. And that is what the Equinox is about. And that's what our church is doing right now, because there's so many people who are in hospital and about to have surgery or have just received it. Michael tomorrow, Glenn who's recovering, Diane Vox, and then there's other people who are healing. So this is perfect. And one of the things that Khalil Gibran says is that your joy and your sorrow are inseparable. Somebody asked him, which is greater, your sorrow or your joy? And he said, you cannot separate them. The knife that cuts the lute is what creates the beautiful sound. And he says that when one is sitting on your bed, the other is sleeping on your pillow. Your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and your sorrow is your joy unmasked. And I think that is very true. So we did bring Khalil Gibran in,
yes,
and maybe that was more perfect for Equinox.
I think that was more perfect, more perfect union, which transitions us into the Medicine Buddha chant, which you have right in front of you. So we're gonna drop into that prayer, and I just again want to acknowledge this. What Simon has created, as far as I understand it, through Grateful Harmony, is an opportunity to be together, not as much in a concert setting, although we're kind of set up that way. I know last time we tried to get everybody close and huddled in together, and we're still in that, you're over there, we're up here. But really what we're doing is we're praying together. We're, whatever it is for you, however you can mix and match and make sense and meaning for you out of what we're speaking. We hope that that our prayers, I'll speak for you too, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that this is my prayer life. I use the Medicine Buddha chant on a regular basis, and to be able to have an opportunity to bring that out there in community and say, let's do this together, and how much more powerful that is than if I just continue to do it on my own. So I really am grateful for the harmonic opportunity to.
You're welcome to soak it up without singing, to sing, and also, if you would like to light a candle at the back, we have a whole load of tea lights laid out for you, and you can do that during the Medicine Buddha song or at any time during the service. Please feel free to go and have a moment there. For Christchurch, for Michael's surgery tomorrow, for things that I don't even know about. Please, that is there if you like lighting candles and want to weave that in. Te atau bekanze. Bekanze. Have I got the wrong key? Oh, I thought it, okay. Te atau bekanze, bekanze, ma bekanze, ranza samur kate soa. Te atau bekanze, bekanze, ma bekanze, ranza samur kate soa. Te atau bekanze, bekanze, ma bekanze, ranza samur kate soa. Te atau
Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samurkate Soa. Te Atao Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samurgate Soha. Te Atao Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samur Gate Soa. Te Atao Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samur Gate Soa. Te Atao Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samur Gate Soa. Te Atao Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samur Gate Soa. Te Atao Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samur Gate Soa. This is the dispeller of the three poisons. Dispeller of the three poisons: ignorance, hatred, and attachment. Its strength is to purify the sickness of mind and body and invoke the great healing, Maha, the great healing. Let's just do it a few more times. Te Atao Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samur Gate Soa. Te Atao Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samur Gate Soa. Te Atao Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranza Samur Gate Soa.
A couple of years ago, I made a promise to some ancestors who were killed in the Holocaust. And when I heard about the situation, I couldn't bear to look at it. But a wise woman said, if you get close enough, you'll see that they're people, and they're uncles and aunties, and loving ancestors who are so much more powerful than the circumstance of hatred that killed them. And I noticed again this weekend that horror in myself when I heard about what happened in New Zealand, another small country. Knowing that it would have touched every person in that country. And I found myself going numb and not wanting to really face them. And I like to pray for people who die. It's one of the things I do. And I remembered my promise that I'd made to see ancestors who die in a bad way as humans, who live with prayer, who died with prayer, but were people of love and people of peace. So I ask you, do you really believe that love is stronger than fear? That love drives out hatred? Well, I think one really good way of putting that into practice is when you pray for those that have died, to remember them as love and not as objects frozen in time with somebody else's hatred. Which is more powerful? The legacy of their lives is going to change New Zealand forever. And I invite you to, if you want to join me in that prayer, to sing in Arabic, to place the words of their prayer in your mouth. Ishq Allah.
Ishq Allah.
Mabud Lila.
Mabud Lila.
Ishq Allah Mabud Lila.
Ishq Allah Mabud Lila.
It's a Sufi term and it means God is love, lover and beloved. And there's something, I love so many words for the sacred, but Allah is my favorite to say in my mouth. It's a really beautiful way of, it's just like nature, yeah. But it's in a word. Ishq Allah Mabud Lila. 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 We are we and we are one. 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 Ishq Allah Mabud Lila. Ishq Allah Mabud Lila. Ishq Allah Mabud Lila. Ishq Allah Mabud Lila. 'Cause we are we and we are one. 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 Beloved ones, we remember you, and with joy we place your prayers into our hearts and into our mouths as we remember you as people of peace, people who believed in a beautiful God. One more time. Ishq Allah mabulila, ishq Allah mabulila, ishq Allah mabulila, ishq Allah mabulila. And that's that equinox place of the grief and the energy of the song and that rising up energy, that new sprout, that way forward right next to the rubble. It's amazing being a human and what the heart is capable of. Let's have a little moment to think of Glenn's heart with its new valve.
There's a little flyer in the children's room over here I noticed before we started about Piglet saying, "I'm not a being of a very big heart, but I can hold a whole lot of gratitude." Something like that. We have great capacity.
We do. And I really believe that's what matters at the end of the day. Not what we do, but how we loved.
And how we worked our way into places of love where it wasn't so easy to find ourselves there. And yeah, that building of that capacity. That's why we do what we do. We use music as a way to get there. So this song, oh yes, right, that's this one. This one came back with me from Guatemala, and it includes 3 sections, one of which always helps me to center into my intention to pray, and then it reminds me of why I'm centered in my heart is not just to stay there, but to act from it, to come into action. And use that capacity to bless this life. And so that 3rd section is a blessing for the water. In this case, we're calling on Yemaya.
A Yoruba deity from Nigeria.
Yes, yes. And so you're welcome to join us, particularly on the Yemaya part. In this sacred space is where I open my heart and feel the love. In this sacred space is where I open my eyes and see the light. In this sacred space is where I open up and become one. Raise your voice. We have the choice to heal this land. Raise your voice. We have the choice to heal this land. Yemanja, Yemanja Oshu. Yemanja, 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 Yemanja Oshu. Yemanja, 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 Yemanja Oshu. Yemanja, 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 Yemanja Oshu. Yemanja, 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 Yemanja Oshu. In this sacred space is where I open my heart and feel the love. In this sacred space is where I open my eyes and see the light. In this sacred space is where I open and become one. May the prayers for the waters be carried deep into the minds and hearts of all humans, and that we remember our relatedness.
Friday is Water Day.
As if any
Every day
isn't Water Day.
Every day is Water
Every
Day.
day is Water
But Friday Day is specifically Water Day. And I invite you to, on Friday, get your hands wet. I like to wade out into the sea in my wellies and put my hands in the water.
In your weddings?
In my wellies. Do you know what wellies are?
No.
What? Lyndon, what's the
Like
translation?
gators or waders?
Rubber boots.
Rubber boots.
Yeah, so you can't go out
Wellies
too
is-
far.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for your wellies, where would you be? You'd be in the hospital or infirmary.
Really? I better get up here quick.
I don't know the rest of the song. It's a very well-known Scottish song about how important our wellies are. How are you doing? You're very quiet, but I think you're happily quiet. Yeah. It is,
Yeah.
yeah. I think if we just got loads of mattresses and cushions, then everybody would come and it would be a like, yeah.
Did I
This
hear
is,
Barco
Mary
We should
Oliver.
get Barco loungers in here. Yeah, little, like the movie theaters. Now they have those in the cities.
This is a Mary Oliver poem that my friend Adam Rowland set to music, and I just wanted to sing it today, but then this morning there was a wonderful V formation flying over the house as I was putting up my laundry. Makes me so happy when it's sunny out and I can hang up my laundry. It makes me so happy. And I was there and I had my shirt off because it was that warm. And I was hanging things up and the geese were going by and I was so happy and there was a raven. Winter's over. I'm in the wrong place again. So
'Cause you're
busy.
moving around so much.
You don't have to be good. You don't have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Love what it loves. Tell me about despair, and I'll tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the clouds and the clear pebbles of rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and deep trees. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean air are coming home again. So whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. Calls you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. In the family of things. You don't have to be good. You don't have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Love what it loves. Love what it loves. The wild goose is a Celtic symbol for the Holy Spirit. And it's really strongly associated with Iona. And when I was there, I heard this story by the leader of the community that I think it was in the 1990s, a researcher came to Iona to speak to George MacLeod and find out where he would always say that it was an ancient symbol of the Holy Spirit. And I'm just changing gears here. And what happened was this researcher couldn't find any evidence of this anywhere, and said to George MacLeod, who was in his 90s at this stage, where did you learn about what? What's your source? And he said, I think I just made it up. And there's all this Celtic stuff
mysticism?
about it. It is mysticism. But it's also like
definition.
the memory of an old man and the honesty. I love that.
I love it.
So the wild goose as a symbol for Iona is intrinsically fixed through this guy's imagination.
Wow.
And I'm going to use that to segue an announcement on the equinox, because I believe that words have power, especially on holy days. Lyndon and I are going to lead a pilgrimage to Iona in September of 2020. I'm publicly announcing it, 5th of September until the 12th. And
That gives us plenty of time to plan.
there's how many places? 18. And coming with us is my beloved teacher from seminary, David, teaches about the mystics, and his Kripala yoga body prayer partner, Jurian. So it's going to be a great time on Iona.
That's amazing.
So just sow that seed in your heart and see if you want to go.
It's a beautiful time to sow a seed. Lots of fertile.
Yeah, so it's not.
Sun and rain.
Yeah, give us a few
grow it.
weeks before
Wow.
it's up on the website.
Woo.
Thank you for listening. I'm very excited to share that with you.
Yeah. I'm going. I'm in.
Great.
I've been feeling Iona strongly for quite a few years. There was a moment where I was on the phone with Amy, and she was in Iona, and I could feel like nothing, no other place have I been able to feel across a phone. You know, I could smell it, I could taste it, I could sense it, I could feel it. It was like being there, just through that connection. It was so strong.
It's a tiny little island. It's only 1 mile by 3, but it obviously has a
Packs
strong
punch.
smell.
Yeah.
It's got a big aura.
So also in my heart right now is any kind of time where we get to come together and see people who we don't see that often. How many people were in the audience tonight who I haven't seen in quite some time? And it's a beautiful opportunity to reconnect. Thank you for coming and supporting this and supporting Simon, supporting me. And I feel incredibly supported by this gentleman right here to my right. I'm glad he's playing with me. It's helping me immensely come into this time of bringing something else forward. So this song is by Pia. Some of you probably know it. It's one of my very favorite songs. It's the first time I'm playing it in front of people. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot of firsts going on tonight. And it's so worth singing. We all could learn it and sing it on the daily. Blessed we are to dance on this ground to the rhythm of saints who carry the sound. We hold a prayer for the earth and the ones yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song. Remember why you remember why you came here. Remember this life is sacred. Blessed we are to dance on this ground to the rhythm of saints who carry the sound. We hold a prayer for all life and the days yet to come. May we walk in beauty and remember our song. Remember why you came here. Remember this life is sacred. Remember why you came here. Remember this life is sacred. Blessed we are to dance on this ground to the rhythm of saints who carry the sound. We hold a prayer for the earth and the ones yet to come. May they walk in beauty and remember their song.
When we opened with the hum, the humming, there's a real thing that's from northern India, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a way that there are people who I see on YouTube that have gone to northern India and learned this courage practice, that when they sing, it seems to hold so much more light or prayer. It's a real thing.
It is, yeah.
And I believe that you embody that in your voice, and I just love it when you get up here with me.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you.
And you guys being, yeah.
Thank you.
And it's been great. It's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But we've only got one more song.
But
So
it's one to get you on your feet.
One to get you on your feet and wake you up a little bit out of your...
For the drive or ride or walk home.
Yeah. And I'm just going to sow a little seed for the future, which is the next Grateful Harmony is with Kate Copeland on the 2nd of May. So that's going to be really good. We're going to celebrate Beltane. Now, I don't really know her very well, but I know her music because she's amazing. So.
She is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're really lucky to have her in town. Huh? What'd you say? Oh, I was like, what does that have to do with Kate? Oh, Beltane, right.
Well, it's the day after Beltane, so maybe.
So we'll have our clothes on by then.
Would you
probably.
be more likely to come or less likely to come if I painted myself green and was up here naked?
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, then the small children might be running.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think we'll see what happens. We'll see. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're looking at doing some other Beltane activities that might be more suited to.
Yeah, but it's really I'm very time specific, and now is the time of the equinox, so it's really I haven't even begun
thinking about getting naked.
You did say you took your shirt ritual off. Would be.
Oh, what the ritual would be? Sorry, yeah. I'll get off the naked thing.
My brain is just beginning to think about this.
That's what happens when we don't do those things that often. They become very, what? We just need to do it more often.
So thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I'll see you next time.
I'm trying to think how to weave in this, the song that's called We Are Rising.
The energy,
that energy of rising, of, because, we're not ready for Beltane yet. We're just getting up out of our winter layers. Mm-hmm. And this is a song that I wrote for the first Women's March, first year that the Women's March happened. What was it? 2006.
3 years ago.
17, January 17. Yep. So we're going to start you off on a regular undercurrent of we are rising. 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 We are seeds rising from the earth. Keep doing that. We are rising. We are seeds rising from the earth. We are rising. From this ground we take our birth. We are rising. Every color, every creed, like a garden. We defy the need for greed. We are rising. Like a rainbow in the sky, we are relying on each other to survive with our rights. Justice, hope, and liberty, we are the ones to ensure that we are free. We are rising from every nation on the earth. We are uniting, and our voices will be heard. We are rising, hand in hand we walk today. Our eyes are open, our hearts they know a better way. We are rising, we are rising, we are rising, we are rising.
Be well. Right, so we're going to take all this energy that we have here and all the prayers, and in your mind, send that to somebody who needs it this day. Picture the person clearly in your mind, or the place in the world. Send it right there as a blessing from our hearts to theirs, because we're not actually separate. We are we, and we are one. 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 Ishq Allah mabud lillah. Ishq Allah mabud lillah. Ishq Allah mabud lillah. Ishq Allah mabud lillah. We are we and we are one. We are we and we are one. Last time. We are we and we are one. We are we and we are one. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.